The Grammys are like an old friend that you don't see all too often. You invite them over for dinner, you check in on where they are in life, and then you berate them for their life choices. Today, let's check in on the 2024 Grammys. Let's first do a quick recap of last year's show. I love it when existence happens. The 2023 ceremony was a competent production, which is a compliment to the team behind it, but man, do I not remember much from it. Bad Bunny was good, Steve Lacy was good, Kim Petras winning for Unholy was great for the trans representation. Beyonce now has more Grammys than any person in history, but she doesn't have the big one, so most people won't really care. The most praised performance was definitely the hip-hop 50th year anniversary smorgasbord. And considering the Recording Academy's history when it comes to recognizing hip-hop, this was pretty good. I think the biggest guffaw of the night was Harry Styles' performance, and not even for the performance itself really. It was on this spinning platform that went one way during rehearsals, but went the other way during the show, so Harry and the ensemble were both thrown off. Not literally thrown off though, I would have remembered that. When it comes to the awards handed out that night though, this was a first for me. All of my predictions were wrong. Seriously, even though I cast a wide net by breaking my predictions down into 3 separate categories, I didn't get a single one right that night. Samara Joy won Best New Artist. That's cool. Samara has a lovely voice. I have no objections to this. Lizzo won Record of the Year for About Damn Time. I thought a Song of the Year win was more likely for her, but alas, no objections there either. Instead, Bonnie Raitt won Song of the Year, which was probably the most contentious win in the Big Four. I didn't hate this though, mostly because I'm educated and I would never disrespect the woman who popularized I Can't Make You Love Me. And Harry Styles won Album of the Year for Harry's Hairy House in the Middle of Our Hairy House. This reminded me of when Bruno Mars won Album of the Year in 2018, a perfectly harmless win for a solid album, so people had to complain about how bland they thought it was. Sure, this guy didn't murder my family, but his favorite show is The Office. He still deserves to die. In a smart move though, Harry seems to have followed Bruno's moves by going pretty silent after the win and once his tour wrapped up. If Harry continues to follow the same path, I look forward to his old school folk band with Noah Kahan. I'd also like to bring up a quick anecdote about this win because I'm not going to have a chance to do it after this. Last year, I had a habit of making these videos on Instagram and TikTok where I bring up some current event in music, but I change it to be some humorous non sequitur. They were basically me doing a parody of those hypebeast news accounts. I did one after Harry's win. Here it is in full. The Grammys have destroyed any credibility they had left. Instead of correctly recognizing Beyonce for Album of the Year, the Recording Academy chose Grimace. Now, I hate to explain the joke here, but I want us all to be on the same page. The joke is that I said Grimace won Album of the Year. Not only did Grimace not win Album of the Year, but Grimace is a fictional fast food mascot, so I don't think he can win this award in the first place. Whether that's funny or not is ultimately up to you, and I'm not gonna die on the hill of this being some comedic masterpiece or anything, but the attempt at a joke is clearly there. The amount of people on both Instagram and TikTok who did not get the joke or did not even watch the full video to see the joke and instead went down to the comment section to air their grievances about Beyonce. I'm not saying media literacy is dead. I'm not saying attention spans are dead. But they've both been napping for a while, and it might be worth it to just nudge them awake just to make sure. Now that we've berated our friend for their past actions, let's scrutinize the changes they've made since. In June 2023, the Recording Academy announced a good number of changes for the upcoming ceremony. Here are some of the most noteworthy. The Big Four nominee count dropped down from 10 to 8. You might remember that the Academy bumped it up to 10 for the 2022 ceremony. Finally, the world is saved. 3 new categories were added: Best Pop Dance Recording, Best African Music Performance, and Best Alternative Jazz Album. Songwriter and Producer of the Year non-classical got moved to the general field, meaning more voters would be able to weigh in without losing their chance to vote in another field entirely, and guidelines have been established against our future overlords. Yes, with AI being the talk of the musical town in 2023, the Recording Academy instituted new rules regarding how it can be used in nominated musical works. I'll leave the full text on screen if you'd like to pause and read, but the gist is one of these has to be involved in the relevant category. As an example, remember that fake Weeknd and Drake song Heart on My Sleeve? Since that song was written by a human, it would have, in theory, been eligible for a writing award, but not a performance award since the performers were not real. It's worth noting though that Heart on My Sleeve was not commercially available, so it wouldn't have been eligible in the first place. It'll be interesting to see how AI in music advances over the next few years and how said advancements impact the Grammy nominees. Maybe one day we'll see an Avatar or a fictional character nominated. Oh, so then he might have a chance. So what about these 2024 nominees? This year's nominations are pretty okay, especially the big four. I remember back when I did my big video on the Grammys in 2021, and a big point was how few women were consistently represented in the big four categories. What a difference a few years makes. Of course, gender is not everything. Speaking on the Album of the Year nominees, these are good. I don't have any personal objections to any of them. They all make sense, which is all I ask from the Grammys at this point. Across the rest of the categories, let's see. There wasn't much representation for country folk like Luke Combs or Morgan Wallen, despite them having some of the biggest songs of 2023. No Peso Pluma, even though his 2023 was huge. Not much representation for K-pop artists like Jungkook or Stray Kids, but overall, this year's nominees, they're solid. All right, enough of this grabbage. Let's do some predictions. I'll offer my predictions for the big four categories, broken down into who I think will win, who I want to see win, and who will usher in chaos. For Album of the Year, we've got Boy Genius's The Record, Janelle Monáe's The Age of Pleasure, Jon Batiste's World Music Radio, Lana Del Rey's Did You Know That There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard, Miley Cyrus's Endless Summer Vacation, Olivia Rodrigo's Guts, SZA's SOS, and Taylor Swift's Midnights. Now, I have a suspicion that Taylor Swift is gonna have herself a Taylor sweep. Midnights was a big deal, and the revenue from the Eras Tour could be used to kickstart Taylor's own sovereign nation. The Grammys love to celebrate music industry success stories, and the biggest success story of 2023 was Taylor Swift. I think Taylor will win this, but I'm not discounting SZA. She had a big year, SOS was a remarkable album, she could do it. As for whom I'm personally rooting for, I'd say Boy Genius, Lana, or SZA. And for chaos, I hate to put him here a second time, but John is once again a harbinger of chaos. It's nothing personal, John. I think you're quite talented. I saw you at Newport Jazz Festival last year. You were great. But you know what? It would also be chaotic if Boy Genius wins, even though I think it's deserved. I don't know, I feel enough weird energy around them in online and offline spaces, I could see a backlash to them winning. When I saw them live last year, I overheard some people complaining that they were, quote, profiting off a brand. If that's the kind of discourse we're in for if Boy Genius wins, then I will respectfully excuse myself from all spaces. For Record of the Year, Billie Eilish's What Was I Made For from the motion picture Barbie, Boy Genius's Not Strong Enough, Jon Batiste's Worship, Miley Cyrus's Flowers, Olivia Rodrigo's Vampire, SZA's Kill Bill, Taylor Swift's Antihero, and Victoria Monet's On My Mama. Like with Album of the Year, I think Taylor or SZA have a very good shot, but I will also add Miley. Did you know this year marks her first Grammy nominations for a project of her own since 2015? That's pretty wild, right? Miley's had a varied career up to this point. She's clearly in it for the long game, and I think Flowers has a good shot here. I would love to see Boy Genius, SZA, or Victoria Monet win. I really want Victoria to win at least one award. And again, for chaos, John. For Song of the Year, Billie Eilish's What Was I Made For from the motion picture Barbie, Dua Lipa's Dance the Night from Barbie the Album. Why do these have two different parentheticals? They're from the same thing. Jon Batiste's Butterfly, Lana Del Rey's A&W, Miley Cyrus's Flowers, Olivia Rodrigo's Vampire, SZA's Kill Bill, and Taylor Swift's Antihero. Taylor has a damn good shot at winning this. Instead of adding SZA this time though, I'm gonna say Billie. What Was I Made For is a ridiculously good movie tie-in song, and the Recording Academy goes into cardiac arrest if they don't give Billie at least one award every time she's nominated. Miley could also nab this too if she doesn't get Record of the Year. I really want Lana to get it though. I really want A&W to win some award just to confirm that I didn't hallucinate it. Billie and SZA would also make me pretty happy. Chaos reigns over Jon Batiste once again. And for Best New Artist, Coco Jones, Gracie Abrams, Fred again, Ice Spice, Jelly Roll, Noah Kahan, Victoria Monet, and The Warren Treaty. If we think of Best New Artist as who had the most commercially successful year, then Ice Spice has it in the bag. If we're thinking about who is most in line with past Grammy winners, it's Noah Kahan. If we're coming together to give me what I want for once in my life, it's Victoria Monet. And if Chaos is coming back on the menu, I don't know. Probably Ice Spice? It would probably rile people up, considering her newest song is called Think You the Shit, parentheses, fart, end parentheses. And if the next week is full of Twitter chuds bemoaning the state of popular music because of Ice's win, then you know where to find me. So who do you think is taking home the gold at this year's Grammys? Are there any artists or albums or songs that you think were unfairly snubbed? Let me know in the comments down below.